The Nigerian Senate has passed a bill to amend the Criminal Code Act 2004. This development comes exactly a week after the Senate considered and passed a bill that prohibits sexual harassment of students in tertiary institutions. The passage of the bill followed consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters. The proposed legislation sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu is titled A Bill to amend the Criminal Code, Cap 638, Law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Michael Bamidele, in his lead debate on the bill, said the piece of legislation will address the lingering issue of status of limitation in the prosecution of rape and defilement cases and the incessant kidnapping menace, which are on the rise in the recent times. The lawmaker stated that contrary to the view of those opposing the passage of the bill by the National Assembly, on the ground that its passage will usurp the power of the state to legislate on the subject matter, the bill seeks to amend the Criminal Code Act of 1916 and non-criminal code of the state.
The objectives of the bill, among others, are to delete the statute of limitation on defilement in sections 218 and 221 of the Criminal Code Act, Cap C 38, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and amend the definition of rape in section 357, as well as provide stringent punishment for the offense of kidnapping in section 364 of the Criminal Code Act. That the proposed bill seeks to amend the Criminal Code Act of 1916 and not Criminal Code Law of the states. And finally, that the bill, when enacted, will apply to the federal high courts in the southern part of the country where the Criminal Code Act is applicable and operational. Recommendation. The Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, to which this bill was referred, having considered same, recommends as follows: that the Senate do pass the Criminal Code Act Cap C 38, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 Amendment Bill 2020 as amended.
Attempt by Senator Uche Ekwunife to effect an amendment to Section 357 to define the person susceptible to rape and accommodate marriage and unmarried person was rejected by lawmakers during the clause-by-clause consideration of the bill.
It can be any person, whether married or married. Just any person, whether married or married. Yes.
Look into this to amend it to ensure that in our federal high court, this will also be able to apply in the penal code. Whatever law that was made, that was in existence before the passage of the criminal, of the penal code in the north and the criminal procedure code in the south, CPC, whatever law was in existence, the National Assembly can still legislate on it. And I'm re-emphasizing again, this is an amendment to the Criminal Code Act, which was passed in 1916. Thank you, Mr. President.
And the point I'm making, strictly sensu, is that if you generalize it, if generalization of this saying any person, rather than being specific to a female, is indirectly, in the course of the law, legitimizing that even a man, you can have a carnal knowledge of a man. So the point is that it should be strict and so female tailored, and use the word female, rather than generalizing it. That's the point I'm making. That's my amendment.
Amended Criminal Code also prefer a life sentence for person found guilty of kidnapping, as against the provision of 364 of the Act, which prefer imprisonment for a term of 10 years.
A bill for an act to amend the Criminal Code Act, Cap C 38, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to delete the statute of limitation on defilement, increase in punishment for the offenses of kidnapping, remove gender restrictions in the offense of rape, and for related matters 2020 third reading taken and passed. Congratulations.
The bill contained amendment is the criminal code which is currently in operation in the southern part of Nigeria. From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Nigeria, Bamidele reporting.